Shalom, Most High Christ bless. Happy Sabbath to the 12 tribes of Israel. I'm Brother Raphael, to my right.
I'm Brother Yoel.
Sorry for the technical difficulties. You know, Satan is busy. He must don't want this class to go out. Okay. It's called The Children of Israel and the Children of Judah Were Oppressed Together. The children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together. Who are they? The so-called blacks. The so-called Native Americans. So according to our fathers, we make up the 12 tribes of Israel. We are the people who are oppressed. We are the people who are the book. As y'all have probably seen, you see that the riots are all over, especially like I want to say LA, all over the country. These things are happening. And what's happening, y'all, is what's going on is a lot of our people don't recognize that the so-called black, so-called Native Americans, Hispanics, we're the same people. I can recall years ago I had a debate with a brother one time in Israel. He was like, well, the Hispanics aren't our people because they don't see them the curses. So I told him, I said, brother, how do you explain all the things they're going through right now? I mean, not just now, but even before that. And I was ignorantly caught up in that nonsense too, because I thought, okay, they're taking our jobs. It had me thinking ignorantly because I didn't know no better. Okay, but some of y'all may be new. We just can't see Christ and the laws and laws of Christ. Give me the book of St. John, chapter 1, verse 17, to give me the book of Revelation, chapter 14, verse 12.
The book of St. John, chapter 1 and verse number 17.
Go ahead.
For the law was given by Moses.
The law was given by Moses. As y'all should know that the law of Moses, what we call the Torah. Okay, the law was given by Moses through Christ, the first 5 books. That's why they say the law was given by Moses. Go ahead, read on.
But grace and truth came by Jesus Christ.
But grace and truth. Grace is what? Is mercy. Okay, the truth is what? When you go to the book of Psalm, to the 140, chapter 19, verse 142 or 151, the truth are the laws. We're not going to have to go there, but the laws in Christ are supposed to help you navigate through sin, which is darkness. Okay, so give me the book of Revelation, chapter 14, verse 12.
The book of Revelation, chapter 14 and verse 12.
Go ahead.
Here is the patience of the saints.
Then y'all should know who the saints are in this organization. You should know it's the patience of the saints. Read on.
Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus.
So they keep the commandments of God and the faith of Christ. So the doctrine we teach is to keep the commandments and the faith of Christ. Because why? Because Christ is the law. Now, like I said before, y'all, we're going to play some videos. I'm sorry for the late start because we had technical difficulties. As y'all do know, Satan is busy. He's the prince of the power of the air. He controls all this stuff. This whole setup, he controls it. But understand something. People have to recognize that we are oppressed together. How do we prove that? Jeremiah, chapter 50, verse 33.
Yes, sir. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 50 and verse number 33.
Yes, sir.
And it reads.
Yeah. Jeremiah 50 and verse 33. Yes, sir.
Thus said the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah.
So when it said the children of Israel in this context, y'all, it really means the northern kingdom. Okay, y'all, as we know, the northern kingdom would be the so-called Hispanics, Native Americans, according to the seed of our fathers, of the Indian Negro descent. We are the true biblical Israelites. It said the children of Israel and the children of who?
Judah.
Now, Judah would be in this context, y'all, the 3 tribes, which would be Judah, Benjamin, Levi. Okay, so it's letting it be known. It shows you that we will be oppressed together. Because remember something, when you look at the actual layout of every metropolitan city, you see the Hispanics and you see us, we say like Judah or Benjamin, Levi, we'll be in the same hoods. Okay, and then the Native Americans, they are in what we call reservations. So it's letting it be known, it's giving you a clue. Read it again, what the Bible said.
Thus said the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah
Go ahead.
were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go.
They refused to let them go. We're going to play some videos for y'all and show y'all what's happening. Because remember, at one time, y'all, they told the Hispanics they were different than us, than the so-called blacks. Okay, and what they're doing, they're showing them, as we see today, they're showing them that they're not white. Because a lot of Hispanics, unfortunately, try to identify as white. So what Trump is doing, the Trumpster basically, he is pushing mass deportation, and he's targeting the Hispanics, and he's hunting them down and treating them like they was treating us in the 60s. So it's showing you that we are the same people, and unfortunately, y'all, it took this type of I want to say this catastrophic situation to make the Hispanics understand that they are not so-called white men. Okay, and that then also show them that they have hatred for them. Play the first video. Show you something. Watch this. Which one is it? LA under siege. Yeah. Let me show y'all something. Because, see, this reminds me of the riots of the LA riots of 1992. You know, back in the day with Rodney King. It also shows us the riots also before that. But it's showing you something. It's showing you the parallel that you see, okay? Play that first video for us.
Democracy depends on a free press. Please support our independent journalism at democracynow.org/give. We begin today's show in Los Angeles, where President Trump has deployed the California National Guard in defiance of California Governor Gavin Newsom and Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass. This comes after protests erupted against ICE's military-style raids in and around L.A. The Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, has also threatened to deploy 500 active-duty Marines from Camp Pendleton. White House advisor Stephen Miller labeled the ICE protests an insurrection. On Sunday, Trump warned this could be just the beginning of deploying troops on U.S. streets.
We're going to have troops everywhere. We're not going to let this happen to our country. We're not going to let our country be torn apart.
Earlier today, Trump wrote on social media, "Looking really bad in L.A., bring in the troops," unquote. California Governor Gavin Newsom plans to sue the Trump administration today. He wrote, quote, "Commandeering a state's National Guard without consulting the governor of that state is illegal and immoral," unquote. This marks the first time since the 1960s a president's deployed the National Guard without a governor's request. Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders said Trump is, quote, "moving this country rapidly into authoritarianism." California State Senator Scott Wiener said, quote, "This is what fascism looks like," unquote. On Sunday, police forces in Los Angeles fired rubber bullets, flashbang grenades, and tear gas at protesters who gathered to condemn the ICE raids and deployment of the National Guard. Sunday night, L.A. police declared all of downtown Los Angeles an unlawful assembly. Over the past week, federal immigration agents arrested about 118 people in the L.A. region. On Friday, agents also arrested David Huerta, president of the California branch of SEIU, that's Service Employees International Union. He was charged with obstruction, needed to be treated at the hospital because of his injuries. He remains in custody. On Sunday, Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass decried the ICE raids and the Trump administration's response.
What we're seeing in Los Angeles is chaos that is provoked by the administration. When you raid Home Depot and workplaces, when you tear parents and children apart, and when you run armored caravans through our streets, you cause fear and you cause panic. And deploying federalized troops is a dangerous escalation.
This comes as Trump's border czar, Tom Homan, has threatened to have Mayor Bass and Governor Newsom arrested if they interfere with federal immigration enforcement. Homan spoke to NBC's Jacob Soboroff.
You cross that line. It's a felony to knowingly harbor and conceal an illegal alien. It's a felony to impede law enforcement from doing their job.
Do you think that the mayor of LA is doing that?
If she crossed that line, we'll ask the DOJ to prosecute. Do I think she's crossed the line? I don't think she's crossed the line yet. But I'm telling you, the warning we're sending is we're not going to tolerate people attacking our officers.
On Sunday, police in Los Angeles made at least 27 arrests. Officers repeatedly fired rubber bullets at protesters. One hit an Australian journalist as she was reporting from the streets.
After hours of standing off, this situation has now rapidly deteriorated. The LAPD moving horseback, firing rubber bullets at protesters, moving them on through the heart of LA.
You just shut the fuck up. You okay?
I'm good.
Are you okay?
In a minute, we'll go to Los Angeles to speak with one of the people who helped organize the protests against the ICE raids. But first, on Sunday, Democracy Now! Reached Janet Martinez, the co-founder of Indigenous Communities in Leadership, or Cielo, in Los Angeles to talk about the impact of the ICE raids and arrests.
Around 34,000 Indigenous people live in Los Angeles County, which is around 40% of the Indigenous population based on the census data alone, which we know is an undercount. So for us, we know a lot of community members have been impacted by the recent raids by ICE all over Los Angeles. We've gotten calls from the Zapotec community, from the Mixe community, and Quiche communities that have been detained during these raids.
For more, we are joined in Los Angeles by Ron Gochez, community organizer with Unión del Barrio and a high school history teacher. His group helped organize some of the protests in Los Angeles. There's so much to discuss, Ron. Can you describe the weekend? It didn't even start with the protests. You had President Trump threatening to cut off aid to California, federal aid. You had the ICE raids, and then talk about what happened even before then Trump announced that he would deploy the National Guard, and Hegseth said he's put the Marines on high alert.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you for having me today. This weekend was marked with absolute and total violence, brutal repression, and attacks, coordinated attacks against our community. ICE agents have been around all over Southern California, kidnapping people, tearing apart families, and we see this as an attack against our people. And so that's why you see young people, the community coming out and resisting this repression. We are tired, sick and tired of these attacks that are dividing and separating our families. And so that's why when we have these protests, they have been peaceful, but when the repression comes from the state, whether it's the sheriffs, the LAPD, or on Saturday, for example, in Paramount, California, it was the Border Patrol, it was brutal violence. They shot thousands of rounds of tear gas, of flashbang grenades, of all kinds of repressive instruments used against the community, but what they didn't think was going to happen was that the people would resist and would fight back. And that's exactly what happened in Paramount and in Compton, California, where for 8.5 hours, the people combated in the streets against the Border Patrol. And after 8.5 hours of battle, and it was a battle because there were people throwing back tear gas, people throwing anything that they could to defend.
Let me show y'all something. This is scripture. Give me 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, verse 15. You know something, y'all? You look at this, look at it for what it is. All right, now, I'm going to share some. I'm play another video after this. I just want to cut that video. I'm going to make a point. When they deploy the National Guard and the military, it's only 2 points. It's only, the Constitution allows it to happen two times. When it's dealing with federal situations, like let's say when they allow the federal troops to go to help, let's say the kids integrate to schools. And also when you utilize it when it's civil unrest. Now, if you notice, they're using it against our people, against the Hispanics, right? But when January 6th happened, they didn't deploy. They didn't use it as a state of emergency. See? Because they showing Hispanics they are in the same boat that we're in. We are oppressed together. They use brute force against people, right? But when it came to their people doing the insurrection in D.C. back in 2021, January 6th, was Trump, what did he do when he first became office? He pardoned them people. Some of them went back in jail for committing more crimes. But give me 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, verse 15. It's prophecy.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, verse 15.
Go ahead.
For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and the swords in their hands.
You saw the weapons in their hands. So one people should stand and fight against each other, fight against ICE, fight against. So remember, that's prophecy. One people should fight against each other. And if you get, now Fox News is very biased. They call them, they don't call them migrants, they call them looters. It reminds me what they do to us as black people too. That's why I'm telling y'all, we the same thing, Hispanics. Now y'all starting to see what we've dealt with as blacks. Because I'm going to say some two Hispanics. You got LULAC out there. LULAC. Do your research. LULAC is dealing with the Hispanics, they're equivalent to the NAACP for blacks, right? But the leader of LULAC tried to separate itself from the Negro. That's the Negro problem. That's the bands we're going to deal with. Because what they're saying is, back when we were protesting in the 60s, they were like, oh, we're not going to get involved in that. But unfortunately, y'all, they don't love you either. We're going to deal with that. But keep reading. Go ahead, read on.
Verse 16. For there shall be sedition among...
Sedition. You see it? You see the seditions going on. You see uprisings. You see it. So it's happening. That's prophecy. Read on. Read on.
For there shall be sedition among men.
And
invading one another.
Invading. You see, they're invading with troops. They're taking basically, like I told you, they're taking the Marines. Who takes the Marines and go against your citizens? Why would you take the military to go against your citizens? Okay, or, you know what I'm saying? So not just citizens, just the people that's like just actual people, because they see it as an act of war. See the mentality? Same thing they did the same thing with us. But when it came to their people, when they were doing seditions, they would do act of treason. Okay, when they was in January 6th, they didn't deploy the National Guard. They didn't even think about doing that. But they showing the Hispanics that you just bad off as we are, the so-called blacks. Okay, read on, read on.
They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power.
Go ahead.
A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able.
No, because you're seeing it today. You should be desired to go into a city because it's going to be civil unrest. It's showing you right now what's happening. That's why I want to bring this out. This stuff is happening. That's what makes the Bible such a beautiful book. We can actually see it as it's actually happening right now. So you can't sit there and say the Bible is a book that's made, compassed by some crazy man that made this up. This is happening as we speak. Read on, read on.
Verse 18. For because of their pride, the city shall be
because
troubled.
of the pride, the cities are troubled. You see what I'm saying? Because they don't want allow due process law. They don't want to do that. So that means if you get caught up, Hispanics, they're gonna just take you, snatch you up, and deport you right back without due process law. I mean, Constitution, their so-called Constitution, which they sworn to protect, won't let you have your rights. But it's showing you who you are based on their actions. Read on, read on, read.
The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation.
You're going to start, that's twofold. That's happening right now. It's going to happen again when the great tribulation comes. You see it, the seeds are being planted right now. You see Israel just bombed Iran. Pay attention to that, y'all. That stuff is going to come, it's going to spill over. Because as you do see, the civil unrest is going on right now. One people stand against another people. Okay? It's going to cause more an anomaly. It's going to cause more of a problem. That's what makes the Bible such a good book. Such a true book. Okay? But it's showing you something. Play the next video for me. Y'all can watch that video. There's so many videos out there. Y'all, I'm just making some points. Some bullet points. For time's sake, I'm not going to play too much because I know we kind of started late, okay? But I just make some points, y'all. The power grab, yeah. Yeah, I want that. Yeah. 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 Watch this. Watch what they say.
Welcome back. President Trump says anyone who protests at the military parade in Washington on Saturday will be met with very heavy force.
Now stop.
He said that
you know what military parade that is? His birthday party. That's going to cost taxpayers $43 million for him to have a birthday. Second Maccabees. Right. Right. So go ahead, play the video. It's crazy. Go ahead, play the video.
Reporters in the Oval Office yesterday issuing this warning.
We're going to be celebrating big on Saturday. We're going to have a lot of, and if there's any protester who wants to come out, they will be met with very big force. By the way, for those people that want to protest, they're going to be met with very big force. And I haven't even heard about a protest, but, you know, this is people that hate our country, but they will be met with very heavy force.
So it's a feature, not a bug. Saturday's parade estimated to cost around $45 million, marking both the 250th anniversary of the U.S. Army, but also Trump's 79th birthday.
Stop.
Joining us now,
Now, go to 2 Maccabees, chapter 6, verse 6, y'all. See, what's tripped me out about Esau? And I'm going to tell y'all, I know some of y'all be like, there he go again, pushing Esau. This stuff is happening. This is prophecy right now, y'all. 2 Maccabees 6 and verse 6, y'all.
The book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 6 and verse 6. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts or to profess himself at all to be a Jew.
At that time, y'all, we had to conform to the manner of the Gentiles. That's why some of us became Hellenist Jews, Greek-speaking Jews. We had to speak Greek. The Sadducees kept that. And also Paul could speak Greek as well because we were Hellenist Jews. So at that time, if you call yourself a Jew or Israelite, whatever you want to call yourself, you was put to death. Okay, go ahead, read on.
Verse 7. And in the day of the king's birth.
The king's birth, the president's birth. Because listen, y'all, he just said you gonna be met with big force if you interrupt his birthday party, his birthday parade. But is that the expense of the American people because that taxpayers' money? Tell me how that works. Meanwhile, you got people that's out there struggling, can't find jobs. Meanwhile, you cutting programs to help people. That shows you how they think, man. That's how you gotta understand. This is who you dealing with. You're dealing with this type of situation. But they voted for this. That's why you can't get involved in politics. I call it politics because it's showing you what you're dealing with. Go ahead, read on.
Verse 7. And in the day of the king's birth, every month, they were brought by bitter constraint to eat of the sacrifices. And when the feast of Bacchus,
that was the party god, okay, like let's say Fat Tuesday, all these things that's been going on. Read on, read.
And the feast of Bacchus was kept. The Jews were compelled to go in procession, a parade, to Bacchus, carrying ivy.
So remember something. So he's letting it be known what he's doing. Okay, it's showing y'all what's happening. Play the next video. Cut that one. Play the next video. I just want to bring some points. Yes, I'm hitting scripture to show y'all what's happening. That's why I'm playing videos, give you a visual to show y'all what's going on. Play the next video for me.
We know protesters in Los Angeles are demonstrating against ICE arresting and deporting illegal immigrants at workplaces across that city. But what does an ICE operation actually look like? Usually we just see video shot from outside, ICE agents going in and coming out with those detainees. But far from Los Angeles, in Omaha, Nebraska, a huge raid just went down, and News Nation was there to document it all. Our Allie Bradley joins me now. Allie, ICE agents say about 100 illegal immigrants were working at Glen Valley Foods. Were all of them arrested?
Yeah, Elizabeth, they were, and it was the biggest workplace enforcement operation in Nebraska under President Trump. And of course, there are those questions circulating with all of the activity that we're seeing in LA and across the country right now. People want to know how these operations are really playing out, how they're unfolding. And we were the only news crew there, and we wanted to give you a firsthand look at these ICE operations.
Civil warrant in hand, ICE and its federal partners executed the largest workplace enforcement operation in Nebraska.
We did execute a civil search warrant here at this location for personnel from Glen Valley Foods that were using fake IDs, fraudulent IDs, or some type of combination of IDs that weren't real.
Roughly 100 individuals who ICE claims are here illegally were removed from their workplace. Many scattered when officials arrived.
There was plenty of places for folks to hide, so that slowed down our operation. But as of right now, I can report there's been no safety issues and everything is proceeding as planned.
Some were hiding in freezers that hit sub-zero temperatures. EMTs were on hand and checked nearly every individual out to ensure that they were okay. One man hid in a wall compartment and refused to come out even with a canine on hand. Officers say that man pulled box cutters on agents. The district attorney tells us that he will be charged with assault on a federal officer. The owner of this company says that he used E-Verify, but many working for him were pulling the wool over his eyes by using the identities of U.S. citizens.
I don't understand why in the hell they would use false ID when they can, I think, get a visa.
Gary Rohr tells us that he essentially has to rehire his...
Stop it. You know what's sad about Esau? They throw a brick and hide the hand. You mean to tell me they didn't know this stuff? It baffles me. You paying them under, so shouldn't they be prosecuted too? Because here's the deal: it takes two to tango.
That's right.
Okay, you better believe they paying them under. They paying them under. They underpaying them, and they paying them under the table because they know they're illegal. They know that. Why would Esau? So he got, why the hell? You know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? It blows my mind when they do that to our people. Play this game, they don't know what's going on. They know those people disenfranchised. They know those people. That's why though they pay them under the table, because they had credentials. You can see it, and a lot of them fear. That's why they don't say. Well, you notice most of the Hispanics don't say much because they're worried they might get deported, and they know that. And the only reason why Esau's crying because his workforce is being deported. Because he worried about the bottom line. This is a capitalist society. It push greed. Okay, you have something?
I'll say do a diligent search.
Diligent search. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm trying to find it. It's in Psalms.
Because here's the thing: you ain't gonna sit there and tell me they don't know those people. Don't know our people. I said our people. I don't say though. Our people are so-called illegals. Okay, it shows you they know. See, it's about money, y'all. It's a big money grab. If they listen, here's the situation. He talking about, so why don't they just go get this done? Go ahead, read on.
I'm going to get right here. Psalms chapter 64 in verse 7. But God shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All they that see them shall flee away, and all men shall fear. That's not the one I want. I want above. I want. Yeah, right.
The diligent, search diligent.
Verse
Yeah.
6. I'll start at 5.
Yeah.
They encourage themselves in an evil manner. This is Psalm 64, verse 5. They encourage themselves in an evil manner. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. So they know that they're
legal. Because how they know where to round them up at? Think about this, Hispanics. How they know? They go to the construction sites. They go to churches. They go in the bathrooms. They go all that. They going through all that. Who's exposing all that? So the people that's doing that, shouldn't they go to jail? It's like, how you gonna penalize them for trying to live a life? Some of them trying to live a life because I live next door to Hispanics. I do, and they pretty nice. They pretty nice people. They speak to me. I speak to them. I try to share some stuff with them because those are my people. It really sad, y'all, to see how they treating some of them. And I'm not saying break the law. Let me make that clear. Let me make people understand. If you're illegal, I get it. Go get immigration. Go through due process. But what I'm saying is these people know they're illegal. How you think they know where to go get them at? They know somebody know what's going on. So they got to stop playing these games like, oh, they're illegal. You knew that. Why you think you hired them, okay? You paying them under the table. You underpaying them. You see what I'm saying? They really replacing us as being the underclass in that sense, in the money. Because they know that the Hispanics going to work. We know that. But they utilize that against them, okay? They know where to go get them at, okay? So I want you to finish up on that video for a second. Do I have another video after that? That's it? Play the rest of that video.
His entire workforce, and he's worried about the business suffering.
We have customers that are counting on us to get our product out to them.
He is a victim at the end of the day.
You see how he worrying about his money? He ain't worrying about the people. He ain't worrying about them being deported, because some of them gonna be deported in deplorable situations. Do y'all not know some of them they deport some of them to countries they never been to in Latin? Like, let's say, use an example, they might take a Mexican and they might deport him to Guatemala. You see what I'm saying? All because they round all the Hispanics up and put them in one big old category and then put them wherever they put them. Yeah. Right. Exactly. Exactly. Because now you're in the same boat. But go ahead, play the video. Go ahead, go ahead.
Today, and together with our state, federal, and local partners, we've been able to make a difference, work with that company, teach them how to do this process better, safer.
Now, Elizabeth, Gary Rohr has been very cooperative with these federal agencies following that operation. As of right now, the business, they're not facing any charges. Elizabeth.
All right, Allie Bradley, thank you so much.
Thank you for watching.
So let's get this straight. The business don't face no charges, but you're going to take the immigrants who are trying to find a way of life, and I'm not saying I support people being illegal. Make that clear to everybody, follow the laws of the land. But you're not going to tell me they don't know about this. Why you think they know where to go get them at? They know. See, as long as it's benefiting them, they're not worried about it. You got East Edomites right now crying on YouTube. They're voting for Trump, by the way. And when Trump did the mass deportation, their farms are suffering. They're crying because they're not gonna get us out there. So-called blacks, we didn't did it already. I'm just keeping it 100. Because they know they're not gonna pay us like that. They know they can't get over and say, if I'm a citizen, they know you're gonna give me my worth. Go ahead, Precept.
When you defraud a man of his living,
right,
like murdering,
right.
In Ecclesiasticus, chapter 34, and I'm gonna start at verse 22. He that taketh away his neighbor's living slayeth him, and he that defraudeth the laborer of his hire is a bloodshedder. So they're murdering these people when they take away their livelihood. That's what that man was going to cut the people with box cutters, because they're taking away that man's life, his life support, to support his family, to feed his family. And I want to go to Zechariah chapter 11 and verse 5. They're slaying us. So they're whose possessors. We are possessed by them. They refuse to let us go. We're in captivity.
Right.
Zechariah chapter 11 and verse 5. Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. They're not charging them. They're not charging the employers for hiring illegals, but they're charging the people that are trying to work and make a living, taking away their livelihood.
Right. Because they just said they're not going to charge the companies for hiring. So you know you hiring illegals, so you say. You're not going to charge them with nothing? They don't get they got nothing, but you want to charge them. And once again, I'm going to say this one more time, y'all. I'm not condoning illegal stuff. What I'm saying, let's be logical now. It's obvious they're trying to live a life, to support their families. We know that. But they don't want to. They use use our people. I say use our people to do what? To fight against each other. I'm gonna show you something. I told y'all when I was younger, I didn't know no better. I said I was against Hispanics in this sense. Well, I was like because I was brainwashed thinking, okay, they coming over here taking our jobs. This black lady told me, she said, look, why are you fighting against them people? Them people are not bothering you, right? But so I was ignorant thinking, you know what? They over here taking our jobs. And then, Hispanics are taught they're not like us either. So they break our bans. Give me Psalms, chapter 2, verse 1. See what it is, y'all. They pit us against each other. Like, they'd say, okay, the Hispanics, because they may be lighter in color, they may have a different texture of skin, whatever. They different tribes. But what they do to us, the blacks and Hispanics, they have us fighting against each other. The heathen is raging. Why? Because they know doggone well we are the true majority.
That's right.
We like the sands of the sea. They know that. So this is the best way to shut us down. Have us fight against each other. Psalms 2 and verse 1.
The book of Psalms, chapter 2 and verse 1. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord.
We see they take counsel, because even now, this crap the council right now. They know what they're doing. They can keep us fighting against each other. They know if we can keep fighting the Hispanics, fighting against the blacks, and blacks fighting against the Hispanics, we can't get nowhere. They know that even in Israel, y'all, as sad as it may be, brothers constantly keep saying to Hispanics, not our people. And that's sad, because you see they going down to the curses. They get hit right now as we speak. Go ahead, read.
And against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands.
What's the bands? Hold that, Zechariah, chapter 11, verse 14. What's the bands? How do you break their bands? Because what happens, what you do, you say, okay, once again, they make the Hispanics think that we lazy. How we lazy? We built this. They had us in the fields picking tobacco, picking all the crops. But they tell them that and try to pit them against us. So they make us think, okay, you know what? We can't work together because they're going to break our bands. How do we know that? Zechariah, chapter 11 verse 14.
Book of Zechariah, chapter 11, verse 14. Then I cut asunder mine other staff, even bands, that I might break the brotherhood between Judah and Israel.
That's exactly what they have done. Because ignorantly, we don't know that we are the same people. We don't know we're under the same oppression. Let me tell you something, Hispanics. Y'all speak Spanish because why? Because the Spanish conquistadors came in under Ponce de Leon, under Columbus. They came in the 1400s and they colonized y'all. Y'all speaking Spanish. Okay? Because they colonized y'all. Then the English came and got us and had us speaking English. Okay? So it's showing that they broke our bands by pushing Catholicism, pushing different religions, and that's why we don't know who we are. It's called craft the council. That's right. Was that it?
That's it for that verse.
Okay. From there, go back to Psalms 1. Where were we at? Psalms 2 and what?
2 and 2.
Go ahead, read on.
Actually, yeah, 2 and 2.
Yeah.
Verse 3, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. Verse 4, he that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh. The Lord shall have them in derision. Then shall he speak unto them in his wrath and vex them in his sore displeasure.
Because keep in mind, Hispanics, they hate you. I'm saying it this way. I say they hate you because the bands is, like I told you, LULAC. Do your research on LULAC, y'all. LULAC is a actual how can I put this? It is a Hispanic heritage. I want to say I want to call it a policy, or it's like the NAACP, right? But it's thank you, organization. But what the leader said, he said that when we were going through our stuff, the blacks, it was a separation, breaking the bands. He said they want to get closer to whiteness. Because I'm going to keep this in mind, brothers and sisters. Whiteness is a social construct. The lighter you are, the more you accept it. That's what the white man put in your mind. So what the Hispanics did ignorantly, they think we must be. Some of them say they white, and it's only for a social construct. But now they can't do that no more. The so-called white man said, you're not white. Same thing with the Spaniards. The Spaniards speak Spanish, right? But the different tribes speak a different, like Portuguese is different Spanish. They still look down on our people. The Spaniards do. Because they colonized them. That's why they speak in Spanish today. See what I'm saying? But like I said, give me Ezekiel 35 verse 1. Keep in mind, brothers and sisters, the Hispanics are hated, and they showing their hatred right now. You know, ignorantly, you know what's scary about this? Hispanics, our people. A lot of y'all voted for Trump because y'all thought it was Trump. Because you see, Trump, Don the con y'all. Don the con. You know how he con y'all? He made y'all think that if we vote, see, he said that he gonna deport on the criminals, right? They deport even people that were citizens as well. Because they hate us all. They hate us all. How do I prove that? Ezekiel 35 verse 1. How do I prove that?
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 35 and verse 1. Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir.
So Mount Seir, if y'all did not know, it's the so-called white man. The so-called white man is Edom. He lived in Mount Seir. In this context, it's showing y'all against Mount Seir. The scripture says against him. Read on.
And prophesy against it, and say unto it, thus said the Lord God, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee.
The Lord is against this man, because he's a hypocrite. You know why he's a hypocrite? Because the so-called white man will accept white immigrants from different countries and call them refugees and give them all kinds of aid. Like he been trying to do with the South African whites. He trying to see what he doing? He trying to push propaganda to make people think that the South African whites have been genocide by the blacks over there, right? So you bring them over here and give them asylum and give them all kinds of stuff, right? Based on a lie. But the Hispanics on the other end, the black immigrants, also the other black immigrants they can bring over here, they want to deport them. Okay? And they can't, well, they can try to deport us, but we here. You know what I'm saying? We live here, but they'll try. They'll try. No, don't listen. Don't put none past this man. Don the con ain't nothing to play with. Don the con, that man's a con. That man, but he conned these people so much. Our people all the way. He conned them. Go ahead, read on, read.
And I will stretch out mine hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. I will lay thy cities waste.
That's going to happen, because what's going to happen? Give it time. This place is going to deteriorate as we speak, because look at what's happening. The more fabric is deteriorating. Policy is going against the people. Trump is fighting against his own people. He's fighting. Look at that. He fought with Elon Musk. So they're fighting against each other. What make you think we have any good thing coming? Go ahead, read on. Read. Go ahead, read on.
Thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred.
A perpetual hatred is a continual hatred. Because they hate not just the black, they hate y'all too, Hispanic. They hate us all. And we end this together, but we don't know that because they put us against each other. You see what I'm saying? They had this one boxer named Ryan Garcia. He's a Hispanic man. The way this man spoke against blacks is a shame. But now he's crying because his people, I'm saying our people, but his tribe or whatever is being deported. So all those so-called Hispanics that didn't know no better, that spoke against blacks, now y'all starting to see this man hates you just as much as he hates us. And Don the con, he conned you to thinking, get my vote, and then you voted for him to deport you. That's a con, man. That man con you. You can't. Scripture says, hold that. Give the book of Sirach 12 and 10. See, y'all got to get the memo, y'all. Scripture, the Lord created this man. He tells you what not to do.
That's right.
Give me Sirach 12 and 1. 12 and 10. But come back to this, though.
The book of Sirach, also Ecclesiasticus, chapter 12 and verse 10. Never.
What? Did he say some?
Never.
Go ahead.
Trust thine enemy.
Don't trust this man, y'all. He's showing you. Because he's making you think, yeah, we good. But back at the Ponderosa, we hate them too. See what I'm saying? Okay, read on.
And for, never trust thine enemy. For like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness.
Like you see how iron will rust, his wickedness will never stop. Go ahead, read on.
Though he humble himself and go crouching.
He think, oh yeah, brother, we brothers. Back at the Ponderosa, we can't stand him either. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, read on.
Yet take good heed and beware of him.
The scripture says, take good heed and beware of him. Because why? Because he will con you. And I'm not pushing a hate campaign or a color. I'm showing y'all prophecy. The Bible telling you what not to do. Okay? He's showing the Hispanics are seeing him who he really is. Because he used them for workforce. He used them to fight against us. Because a lot of them was siding with the so-called white man. They didn't know no better. And like us, we think we're going to get the Hispanics because they make us believe, well, they taking our jobs. But the Hispanics doing jobs we wouldn't even do. That's right. So they con us, making us think, the black folks, well, you know, they taking our black jobs. So I'm just showing y'all they're playing both of us against each other. It's called crafty counsel, y'all. They doing it as we speak. Read on, read.
And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass. And thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away.
His hatred ain't wiped away. He masked it. Go back to Ezekiel 35, where you were at.
35, verse 5.
Yes.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 35, verse 5.
Go ahead.
Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end.
Because they have done it time and time again, y'all. They showing y'all, they got the sheriff and the sheriff in Florida saying that if you loot in his county, he's going to kill you. He's showing you this man does not bear the sword in vain. Whatever weaponry he has, he's going to use it. And guess who he's going to use it on? He's going to use it on us.
That's right.
Look at what's happening, y'all. He really wanted to enact martial law. He's trying to find every excuse, and he trying to get the blacks to go out there too, because once the blacks go out there, it's going to escalate even worse. So what they're doing is systematically done. It's crafty. So they want to do things to see what you're going to do. They really want to utilize the military to do what? That way, whoever know, how do you know when you take the military and mobilize the military against people and your citizens as well? Okay? But it shows y'all the perpetual hatred. It shows y'all the scriptures, never trust thine enemy, because you can't put your trust in this man. He's showing you time and time again he's not with you. And that's the white power structure, period. The white power structure is basic for them. And they're showing you. They're showing what they're doing. Look at what they're doing. Okay? It just shows you. So it's showing you that they are colonizing them, and they got them twisted up and got us twisted up as black Americans as well. That's why it's important for us to have the chart or the enzyme for a reason, everybody. We're going to deal with that in a second, okay? Was that it? Give me Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 45. We're going to find out if the Hispanics fit these curses. Because brothers tripped me out with that, y'all. They really blew my mind with this. Matter of fact, before you go there, give me Genesis 49. Yeah, because we're going to show you how our people. Let's go to Genesis 4. This is how you break down the 12 tribe chart, everybody, or the enzyme. You go to Genesis 49, you go to Deuteronomy 33, verse 14, and you go out throughout the Bible. You identifies by what? By characteristics, curses, blessings, okay, and geographics. That's how you break down the 12 tribes. But see, people get so wrapped up in nonsense and let their hatred overtake them. Okay, Genesis chapter 49. Let me see. Make sure I got it right here. So verse 1, yeah.
Okay. The book of Genesis, chapter 49 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
And Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days.
If y'all did not know, the last days started when Christ died on that cross. When Christ died on that cross, the last days started. What Jacob is doing, he's giving them what? He's giving them prophecies which will fulfill them in the last days. This ain't happened yet. He's gathered his 12 sons together and letting them know what's going to happen to the descendants of their nation. Okay, was that it?
That's verse 1, verse 2.
Okay, give me, verse 2. Give me verse 2.
Verse 2, gather yourselves together and hear, you sons of Jacob, and hearken unto Israel your father.
Hearken unto Israel your father. So Israel means prince of the power. Jacob means supplanter. He supplanted Esau as the blessed lineage. If y'all didn't know that, that's what those names mean something. Jump to verse 14.
Verse 14, Issachar is a strong ass, crouching down between two burdens.
Who are the two burdens? North America and South America. Crouching down, Issachar means work for hire. If you didn't know that, let's find the characteristics. Go ahead, read on.
Verse 15, and he saw that rest was good.
What do you mean by that? They take siestas. He saw rest was good. They take siestas. That's how you're able to break down who this tribe is. Read on, read.
And the land that it was pleasant, and bowed his shoulder to bear, and became a servant unto tribute.
That's what it means, servant to tribute. Why? Because Issachar, they would go out on a 110 degree day and be on the roof doing what? Roofing.
That's right.
And make way less money than they worth. They'd be pouring concrete. They out there. It'd be like hot as I don't know what outside. They'd be out there, man, working, and I'd be like, I marvel like, dang, I gotta give, you know what I'm saying? They do things that we wouldn't do. But they talking about something, yeah, they taking our jobs. Well, I tell you one thing, since they gone, where the job, who gonna go out there and do it now? I saw one video one time where one Edomite was like, he was cursed up a storm. You think I'm going out there in 110 degree? Yeah, you should now. Because this is your business. Go out there and do the work now, Esau. Go out there and pick cotton. Go out there. See, they won't do that. See what I'm saying? But our people do it. We did it for free, though. We did it for free. At least the Hispanics was getting paid. We wasn't getting it. You know, the past 200 some odd years, we did it for free. Then it graduated to sharecropping. See, they're doing it to them what they were doing to us, but we're still the same people at the end of the day. Okay. Now go to Deuteronomy 28. I just want to bring that point. Give me Deuteronomy 28 verse. I want 45. Yeah.
Sir. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 45.
Yes, sir.
Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee and overtake thee till thou be destroyed.
Now, here's the thing. Now, the brother I was speaking to, he was with us. He kept saying, man, they can't be under curses because they able to go out and buy this, have businesses. I said, no, brother. Keep in mind the Hispanics were smart enough to come together and pool their money together, resources together, and they were able to go out and buy stuff. You know what I'm saying? You got 10 of them may live in a house and may have a goal, go out, because they know how to pool their money together. It don't mean they're not under curses because the same white man is oppressing them too. But they were smart enough to come together and unify. We had that spirit too. But when Willie Lynch came in, we're going to do it with Willie Lynch, Lord's will, on one of our next classes. When Willie Lynch came in, he made us distrust each other. You see what I'm saying? So he came in with that mindset, so now we individuals. But the Hispanics kept the same mindset of building together. That's why people keep saying, well, now they're under the curses. They are. They still oppress, even though they may come together. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead, don't read.
Because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God to keep his commandments
Go ahead.
and his statutes which he commanded thee.
Uh-huh.
And they shall be upon thee for a sign.
Now, the sign is showing y'all they are the people. Like we the people. That's a sign they being oppressed. We're going to deal with their kids, their children being taken away by ICE. They separating families the same way they did to us in slavery. They've been separating our families, different plantations, the same thing. It's a sign. The curses are a sign or identifier. Oh, the true children of Israel are. Go ahead, read on.
And for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
Go ahead.
Verse 47, because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger.
So here's the deal. Who do we go to for food? Our oppressor, because they own all the grocery store chains. Oh, by the way, agriculture, with the Hispanics were doing all the work, it's going to suffer because they took the workforce away. In hunger, because without food, you can't live. You have to have agriculture, you have to have meat and vegetables and stuff like that to live.
That's right.
In hunger, go ahead, read on.
And in thirst.
And thirst, don't pay a water bill. They control the water. You know what's so bad? If you even collect rainwater, they want to control that. Yeah, that's something. Rain come from the sky, right? You can't collect rainwater. It says illegal. It's illegal. Make that make sense. Go ahead, read. It's crazy. Read on.
And in nakedness.
So here's the deal. We don't have textile mills. We're not mass producers. We're consumers. Read on, read on.
And in one of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. Verse 49.
Go ahead, read on.
The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle.
Because the Spaniards came in and did that. They came and they got our Hispanic, like Hispaniola. They came and they got our people, the Hispanics, and they forced Catholicism on them, and they forced Spanish on them. Go ahead, read on.
As the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young.
They doing it right now. They don't care if it's a child, man. It almost brought me to tears. Kid was 14 years old, Hispanic young girl. The girl had terminal cancer. They still deported the girl, man. They don't care about the young or the old. The hell, they was feeding our kids alligators. You think they cared about that? They don't care about that. So I'm showing you the prophecies. Give me Baruch 4:15, the precept on that. Because it's showing y'all who these people are and who we are. So it's showing y'all, I'm going to show y'all, because the thing about it, y'all, is as we speak, it's showing y'all, Hispanics, that y'all under the curses, that y'all going through the same that the so-called black Native Americans going through. Okay? Go ahead, read on. Baruch 4.
The book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 15. For he had brought a nation upon them from afar, a shameless nation and of a strange language, who neither reverence old man nor pitied child.
It's the same. We go back to Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 32 now.
Verse 32. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
You see that with ICE? Their sons and their daughters, they breaking up families. God, Spanish are crying out like, my God, they took my family, took my husband, and they breaking families up. Same way with the blacks as well. They did it with the plantations. They took our children, sold them off different plantations. Same way with the foster system, same way with the system today. They break our families up through the system today. Our children get brought off and brought to different agencies. This fits the prophecies. Read on the curses.
And thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thine hand.
Because even though ICE is coming, what can they do about it? Nothing. But hide. You saw that? They was hiding. They're hiding in freezers. Sub-zero temperature freezers to avoid that. You see what I'm saying? Can you imagine the horror of that? Because here's the thing. They're going to deport them back to a country that, let's just be real, that they face oppression there too, and also dealing with poverty, because those countries are poor. Why do you think they're coming over here to do what? To have a better life. Okay? Was that it?
That's it for that verse.
Jump to verse 66 now.
Verse 66. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse number 66. And thy life shall hang in the doubt.
See, their life shall hang in doubt. Because they don't know one day to the next. Well, dang, ICE may come and raid us today. They might go to because ICE is getting crazy. They're going to churches. They're going to schools. They had the graduation going on. They're going to the daggone graduations. Productive people, they're going to graduations. People are graduating from college or school, and ICE showing up there to arrest the people. You tell me that ain't crazy. What the Bible says. Read it again. What the Bible says.
And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have none assurance of thy life.
They fear it. They're like, man, they don't know if I should go to work today. Knowing you got bills to pay, you have no assurance on your life. They don't know. So it's letting it be known, wait a minute, I don't know if I should go to work today because the ICE may show up. If I go to school today, ICE may show up. You don't know. It's a part of the curses, y'all. Now y'all see Hispanics, you are the people. Because it's showing you the curse. This is a curse. Read on.
Verse 67. In the morning thou shalt say, would God it were even. And at the even thou shalt say, would God it was morning. For the fear of thine heart, wherewith thou shalt fear.
There's your fear. You don't know if ICE may come and drag you out the house. You might be taking your kid to school, and ICE may show up. You may go to the grocery store, ICE may show up. They are showing you the hatred they have for our people. And they mask it with law, letter of the law. You know it's funny? They'll hold fast to their laws, but we want to not keep the commandments of God. You see how they are? They law and order, they hold fast to their law, but they will not hold, we will not hold fast to the laws of God. Go read on. What is that?
And for the sight of thine eyes, which thou shalt see.
Ain't that something? The sight of thine eyes should thou see. From there, give me the book of Leviticus 26 verse 36. Because see, what I'm showing y'all is the same curses that we under. They under the same curses. That's how we are able to identify who we are. And that's like I keep telling brothers, you keep saying, well, Negro only. Brother, that's crazy. Because they're under the same curses that we are. They just speak Spanish. We speak English.
That's right.
I mean, come on, that's crazy. Go ahead, read.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 26 and verse 36.
Go ahead.
And upon them that are left alive of you, I will send a faintness unto their hearts.
You see the faintness right now. You see the fear. Go ahead, read on.
In the lands of their enemies, and the sound of a shaken leaf shall chase them, and they shall flee as fleeing from a sword.
You see that? They're fleeing. They don't know if they're coming or going. Oh my God, ice coming. Go ahead, read on.
And they shall fall when none pursue.
You see that? They see how they're hiding in freezers, stuff like that. Go ahead, read on.
Verse 37. And they shall fall one upon another, as it were before a sword, when none pursue it. And ye shall have no power to stand before your enemies.
You have no power to stand before ICE. You got no power to stand before them. They got federal agents coming. He's pushing federal agencies. He's pushing the National Guard. He pushing what? The Marines. You have no power. You have no military to fight. And meanwhile, you got Israel, the fake Jews, they have a military. They got nukes. That's how y'all know they're not the real people. Because they got might, they have a military. We don't have a military to fight. What military we got? They have a military, we don't. That's identified to show you they aren't the real people, because guess what? They just dropped the bomb on Iran today. Israel, they dropped a bomb on, they won over there right now, y'all. Go to the book of Daniel, chapter 9, verse 7. Let's deal with this right quick, because the brothers keep saying, the Hispanics are not our people. But watch what Daniel say. Give me Daniel chapter 9, verse 7.
The book of Daniel, chapter 9 and verse 7. O Lord, righteousness belongeth unto thee, but unto us confusion of face.
It's a confusion of face because, like we said, the Hispanics look different, but we're the same people. It's a confusion of face. They may look like they could be white, but they still are people through the seed of the Father. Same thing. You might have the darkest. I know a brother right now. He's an Ephraimite. He darker than me, but you Ephraim, and you light. So it's showing it's a confusion of face. You can't judge by appearance. It's by the seed of the Father. This ain't a hate campaign, truth campaign. We're showing you it's not about color. It's about the seed of the Father. Go ahead, read on.
As at this day, to the men of Judah and of the inhabitants of Jerusalem.
You see, the men of Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem. Go ahead, read on.
And unto all Israel that are near and that are far off. Through all the countries whither thou hast driven them.
Where they have driven us. Because under every nation had us in captivity. We mixed in with them. Why do you think we all look like them? You have somebody look like an African. They're not really African. They may look like an Edomite. They're not really Edomites. They may look like they're Chinese. They're not really Chinese. They just mixed in. But it's the seed of the Father's confusion of face. Was that it?
Verse on. Because of their trespass that they have trespassed against thee.
That's why it's a confusion of face. Because the Lord thy God allowed the other nations to put us in slavery. So when they did that, we mixed in with them. That's why it's called confusion of face. Jump to verse 10.
Verse 10. Neither have we obeyed the voice of the Lord our God to walk in his laws, which he set before us by his servants, the prophets.
Go ahead.
Yea, all Israel have transgressed thy law.
All Israel transgressed thy law. That's why we under curses today, because we all broke the commandments. Whether it was us, when the kingdom was split, southern kingdom, northern kingdom. Okay? That's why I was letting it be known. From there, give me Hosea 7 and verse 8 now. Oh, you don't know? I got you.
Hosea chapter 7 and verse 8.
Uh-huh.
And it reads, give me a minute.
Yes, sir. Take your time. Take your time. Because it's showing you something. Because we're showing y'all something through prophecies, how people got to understand that we the same people, y'all. Okay? Because at the end of the day, y'all, we under the same oppression. It's just, we just different names, different tribes. Okay? Go ahead, read on.
The book of Hosea, chapter 7, verse 8. Ephraim, he hath mixed himself among the people.
And some of them got mixed in by rape, but some of us willingly, like some Hispanics, unfortunately, are mixing it with Esau right now because they want to achieve whiteness. Because, see, whiteness right now, look at every nation. Every nation got the so-called white man in them. And the light-skinned, whatever nation it is, always go against the dark-skinned nation. Like, even let's take Afro-Latinas. The Afro-Latinas are being discriminated against the so-called light Latinas. So that's confusion. Because when the white man put his seed in you, it's confusion. I'm just being honest. Because the lighter you are, it achieves what they call a status. Okay? That's how they think. See what I'm saying? So they mixed in. Go ahead, read on.
Ephraim is a cake not
What
turned.
it means, cake unturned. I just told you. You would be a considered light-skinned Ephraimite. The other brother I know is a dark-skinned Ephraimite. It's a cake unturned. You might have a light skin or a dark skin. Okay? It's a cake unturned. Go ahead, read on.
Verse 9. Strangers have devoured his strength.
You see that? Because what happened, they mixed in. The strangers devoured their strength. Therefore, their stature diminished. Therefore, all the different things diminish because strangers have devoured their strength. Go ahead, read on.
And he knoweth it not. Yea, gray hairs are here and there upon him. Yet he knoweth not.
He knoweth not. From there, give me Jeremiah 12:9 now. Hope y'all get the point. Some of y'all may be new. Y'all might not have saw this in the scriptures. That's why I'm going over it to show y'all it's happening as we speak. It's a current event. I have to bring this out because I see it in the news. I have to be a watchman and show you as it is happening. Jeremiah 12:9.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 12 and verse 9. Mine heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. The birds round about are against her. Come ye, assemble all the beasts of the field, come to devour.
The beasts of the field. What's the beast? Give me Ecclesiastes 3:18. What beast came to devour thee? Because as you do see it, what's happening, the speckled bird would be Israel. Because if you look at the 12 tribes, we're all different characteristics. If that's the case, brothers, if you push an all Negro, explain that scripture. Explain the cake unturned. Explain Jeremiah 12:9. Because when I first came in, I was a brother. I don't name his name, but he kept telling me one time he hated the enzyme. He said, man, that's off. That's One West. Y'all don't know what the hell One West is. And some of y'all on social media, y'all don't even know what that's even talking about. Y'all parakeet. Now that's one. No, the Spirit's showing us who our people are. But he tried to tell me, well, they don't look like us. I said, bro, explain these scriptures about being a cake unturned. Explain to me about confusion of face. Explain to me about Jeremiah 12:9 if you telling me it's all dark-skinned people, brother. You couldn't really say nothing. I said, see, we're going to keep it simple today, all right? Well, I told you to get
Ecclesiastes 3:18.
Thank you.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3 and verse 18.
Go ahead.
I said in mine heart, concerning the estate of the sons of men, that God might manifest them, and that they might see that they themselves are beasts.
So when it says beast in its context, y'all, it only means men. So the wild beast did what? You go back to I told you to go back on Jeremiah 12:9? Yeah. So wild beasts, wild men came in and did what? Bring dissension among us. That's why it's so great dissension between the blacks and Hispanics. Because we think we're different. We think we're different nations, but we the same people under the same oppressor. Just one speaks Spanish and the other one speaks English. Just that simple. Go ahead, read on. What does it say?
The book of Jeremiah 12:9.
Yes, sir.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 12, verse 9. Mine heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. The birds round about are against her.
You better believe it. Other nations are against her. Go ahead, read on.
Come ye, assemble all the beasts of the field, come to devour. Many pastures, verse 10, many pastures have destroyed my vineyard. They have trodden my portion underfoot. They have made my pleasant portion a desolate wilderness.
They have done that to our people. We're desolate as a nation. We're desolate. Look at us, man. We're on the bottom. Even though the Hispanics even though they may come together and build together, they're still on the bottom. I mean, they may have some political clout here and there, but they're still under oppression. You see what I'm saying? You can't just say because they may have some, let's take in Miami. Miami, is a very high Cuban Manessa. The tribe of Manessa is a lot of Cubans that kind of run, some parts of Florida, but some of them being deported too. See, Don the Con tricked them too. Same with Issachar over in L.A. So Don the Con made them think because they got political, they had some political clout, but you're still oppressed. They still gonna deport you. They still deporting them. He says as we speak, okay? So it's showing what Don the Con gonna do to you, okay? Give me Ezekiel 37, verse 15.
Ezekiel chapter 37 and verse 16?
No, give me start at verse 15.
15. 37, 15.
Uh-huh.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 37, verse 15. The word of the Lord came again unto me, saying, Moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick and write upon it for Judah and for the children of Israel.
Stop. Can you run the ensign again? Just run it. This is why we do this, because it's showing you what this instruction for us to do as believers, as watchmen. We are instructed to bring this out the streets. So when you keep telling us the ensign is wrong, explain the scripture to me. This is for you new people. This is why we have the so-called 12-tribe chart, which I'll call it, is really an ensign. Because we're commanded to bring it out to the streets. Why? Because it's showing us who our people are. Okay, read it. What did it say? Go ahead, read.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 37, verse 16.
Yes.
Moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick and write upon it for Judah and for the children of Israel, his companions. Then take another stick and write upon it for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim, and for all the house of Israel, his companions.
So it's showing you, you look at the tribe of, look at the southern kingdom. Judah, Benjamin, Levi. That's one stick and his companions, right? Because Judah, his companions will be Benjamin, Levi. Then you have the other ones from Ephraim, is the head tribe. Ephraim is the head tribe of the northern kingdom, right? That's what I say Judah and Ephraim are pressed together. We are pressed together, right? So it's showing y'all these two sticks. They come together, the ensign. We bring it to the streets. We just ran it on the screen. So we are commanded to do that, to do it, to identify who our people are. We don't read. Go ahead, read.
Verse 17. And join them one to another.
That's when you join them together. That's when the ensign comes in. Go ahead, we don't read.
Into one stick, and they shall become one in thine hand. Verse 18. And when the children of thy people shall speak unto thee, saying, Wilt thou not show us what thou meanest by these?
Because that's the thing. You see the ensign, so what does it mean? That's how you know it's a prophecy. You have to bring the ensign to camp to show who our people are. Because that's the scripture tell you have to do that. Because that's because read that
verse 18. And when the children of thy people shall speak unto thee, saying, Wilt thou not show us what thou meanest by these?
So we're gonna show you what it means. This is what God calls us. This is what the world calls us. We showing you what it means. Read on, read, brother.
Verse 19. Say unto them, Thus said the Lord God.
Say unto what?
Say unto them, Thus said the Lord God.
Because we showing you on the ensign, this is who you are, this is the curses, the characteristics. Because we showing you the breakdown of the 12 tribes, we are commanded to do that. But brothers keep on talking about something. Nah, man. No, bring the ensign to camp and call the day, because you're commanded to do that. Go ahead, read on, brother. Go ahead, read on.
Behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim.
Because when you look at Joseph, when the 12 tribes are marked for glory, in Revelation it says Joseph instead of Ephraim. That's why it's showing you the prophecy. They mark for glory. Still, Ephraim gonna get it because they're under Joseph. Go ahead, read on, read.
And the tribe of Israel, his fellows, and will put them with him, even with the stick of Judah, and make them one stick, and they shall be one in mine hand.
And that's why you have the ensign. Brothers and sisters, they want to say the ensign is a one West doctrine. It's right here telling you what you're supposed to be doing.
That's right.
It's telling you, bring it together to unify our people. It says, gather yourselves together, O nation not desired. They're not desired. We're all not desired. We're all in the same oppression. They're showing you better than they can tell you. Excuse me for yelling. I get passionate sometimes.
All right.
I'm not angry. I'm just passionate. Because it shows you how crazy Israelites can be. You telling us something, oh, they're not the people. Bro, we telling you what the scripture telling you. Bring the ensign to the streets. Go to the streets, bros. Stop being Facebook Israelites. Go to the streets. You're commanded to go to your people and show them this. Show them who they are under the curse. Show them the prophecies. You commanded to do that, watchman. You can't be a watchman sitting on the Facebook, battling people all day. Come on, y'all. Put some work in, y'all. Let's put some work in. Okay? Let's put some work in, y'all. How did they get here? Give me 2nd Ezra 13 verse 40. How did they get here? Some of us are indignant. We do know that. We know, but remember something. If y'all know anything about history, the Assyrian captivity 722 BC, right? We're gonna read about this right quick. The Assyrian captivity 722 BC. If y'all didn't know that, 2nd Ezra 13 verse 40.
Verse 40.
Yes.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 13 and verse 40.
Go ahead.
Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea, the king whom Shalmaneser, the king of Assyria, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. But they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt.
If y'all didn't know this, our people came from the eastern hemisphere to the western hemisphere, and what was happening, they were leaving that land. It came through the Syrian captivity in 722 BC, and it came into the western hemisphere. Go ahead, read on.
Verse 42, that they might there keep their statutes.
That's what they were going to do initially, because we kept commandments. If y'all know anything about the Native Americans, one of these days we're going to probably go to a reservation, Lord's will. And we're going to do some research and show you how they had fringes with the borders of blue. Okay? Edomite asked me, I was in the bank taking care of church business. He says to me, look at your fringes. He used the term fringes. You know what I do? I'm gonna be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. He said, what's the significance of it? I said, my Native American heritage.
That's right.
I just say I'm an Israelite. I'm this. You ain't gotta do all that. Because they knew Native Americans were fringes. And I wasn't lying, because that is in my background, even though I'm Judah, but it is in my background. But I'm just using an example. They pay attention to what we're doing. So you got to be smart. Don't be stupid, okay? Use your knowledge. What the Bible said, go ahead, read on.
Verse 42, they might there keep their statutes which they never kept in their own land.
Go ahead.
And they entered into the Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river. For the Most High then showed signs for them and held still the flood.
Because the Atlantic Ocean, y'all, seasonal, it always is rough. Like as you do know, when right around August, whatever, that's when hurricane season starts. And the hurricanes always start all the way down south where the slave ships went. So it's showing the Lord held still that the waters to fulfill the prophecy. Go ahead, read on.
Till they were passed over. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half. And the same region is called Osiris. Then dwelt they there until the latter time, and how when they shall begin to come.
Now remember something, y'all that know anything about history, you had the Hispanics with the Puerto Ricans, Boricas, they came through there. They came through what we call the Ring of Fire through the Caribbean, okay? And that's how the Spaniards knew they had our people over here. Because Columbus used the Apocrypha when we read it, 2nd Ezra. If you watch that movie, 1492, he says
conquest of paradise. Yep, he says it.
He says Esdras. He's a Jew. He says Esdras because they read the Apocrypha. That's why you keep saying the Apocrypha's authoritative. No, it ain't. Because why did Columbus read it? to know we were over here. Okay? See how crazy people are? But it's showing you straight up what's happening. Who knows about this? From there, give me the book of Revelation. We're almost done. Chapter 12, verse 12.
The book of Revelation, chapter 12 and verse number 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath.
Because the devil, you see it today, the devil is showing you who he is, the great deceiver, the con artist. They're able to deceive you, make you think, oh yeah, we good. But nah, his kingdom is declining. He has but a short time. Go ahead, read on, read.
Because he knoweth that he hath but a short time.
He know he hath but a short time. He knows that. Go ahead, read on.
Verse 13. And when the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child.
So the dragon, in this context, y'all, is so-called white power structure. He see that he's cast down because what's happening, his kingdom is falling apart from within, though, because they fight against each other, okay? But it's falling apart. So it said when the dragon saw that he was cast down to earth, means he's cast from rulership, okay? But then it also says he persecuted the woman who brought forth the man-child. The woman, we go to Isaiah 54, verse 5 and 6, the woman is Israel. You can write that down for your precept, okay? And who's the man-child? Christ. That's why, so it's let it be known that she was persecuted, being persecuted as we speak. Jump to verse 15.
Verse 15. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood.
What's the flood? Because you know what the flood is. What's the flood? You go to Micah. Go to Micah. I think it's chapter 2 verse 11, I think. Make it say that. 2:10, 2:10, yeah. Because the flood right now is propaganda too. So it's showing you they push that narrative, they push these things to our people. And I push this precept so many times. Y'all should know what this precept is. But it's showing y'all this prophecy is happening as we speak. What's the flood?
2:11.
Yeah.
The book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 11. If a man walking in the spirit and falsehood do lie, saying, I will prophesy unto thee of wine and of strong drink, he shall even be the prophet of his people. It may be verse 10 too.
Go ahead.
Verse 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction.
And it's happening as we speak, y'all. So go back to Revelation. We're almost done. Chapter 15. I want verse 16 now.
15, 16.
Because keep in mind, y'all, what's happening, the truth is going out. The earth helped the woman, because right now, like I told you, brothers going out, various organizations, they got the enzyme. So the earth is helping the woman, because truth is springing out the earth. So the enzyme helps identify who our people are. That's why we're commanded, brothers, to bring this to camp. Okay, we said Isaiah said what chapter? It's Isaiah 54, verse 5 and 6. If y'all know, that letting you know that Israel is the woman. They bring forth the man-child, which is Christ. It's Isaiah 54, verse 5 and 6. Write it down. Those precepts you're going to need that to identify what you're talking about, all right? Now, what I told you to go?
Revelation 12, 16.
Yes, sir.
The book of Revelation, chapter 12 and verse 16. And the earth helped the woman.
How the earth helped the woman. From there, give me Psalms 85, verse 11. Y'all should know this. At least write it in your notes, because we're going to probably revisit these things through our time. But how the earth helped the woman, I want that book of Psalms 85, verse 11, and come after this, okay?
The book of Psalms, chapter 85, verse 11. Truth shall spring out of the earth.
You see the truth, the enzyme. It's the truth. The scriptures are the truth. Why do you think they fight the King James Version Bible so much? I had one brother try to approach me at camp the other day. You know what, man? I said, listen, sir, all due respect, I'm going to believe this. If you don't believe it, go up the street. Don't try to come up with no nonsense about the King James Version Bible. This is the truth. As far as I know, it's the truth, okay?
That's right.
What the Bible said, what does it say? Go ahead, read on.
Truth shall spring out of the earth.
Go ahead.
And righteousness shall look down from heaven.
So truth is spring out of the earth. The earth helped the woman. Go back to Revelation 12, verse 16 again.
The book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 16. And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth.
Because remember something, the truth is to swallow up the lies. The dragon pushing out rhetoric, lies. They want to erase Black and Hispanic history. That's the flood. They want to erase the history so it never actually happened. So the earth helped the woman by doing what? By pushing truth, by using the Ensign brothers, going to camp, going to the streets, pushing it. Because we're commanded to go push this truth to our people, not to sit on our behinds and chilling. We won't supposed to be doing that. You see what I'm saying? Going out there doing the work. Do what we got to do.
That's right.
Because our people need it. Our people need to know this. They don't know. A lot of people don't know who they are. So you need the Ensign to identify who the true children of Israel are. Run the Ensign again so you can understand what we have to run, y'all. We have to run this. That's the Ensign. The stick of Judah, and the stick of what? Of Joseph had to come together. Just go to verse 17 in Revelation.
The book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 17. And the dragon was wroth with the woman.
So the dragon is angry because truth is springing out the earth. They hate this Israelite movement. They push propaganda to demonize us. Read.
And went to make war with the remnant of her seed.
You see, they're making war, cutting our videos, doing brand, putting us on lists, doing all that's. They're making war with the remnant. A woman don't have a seed, by the way. A man does.
That's right.
But letting it be known that Israel has a seed. They make war with what?
With her seed, singular, which keep the commandments of God.
So the law and the testimony. To keep the commandments of God. Read on.
And have the testimony of Jesus
Christ.
That's
the point. Why pastor don't read this? Because they still talk about commandments in the Revelation, which is the last book of the Bible, by the way.
That's right.
Okay? From there, give me St. John. Christ says this, y'all. St. John, chapter 10, verse 11. We're almost done.
The book of St. John, chapter 10 and verse 11. I am the good shepherd, and the good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep.
So the good shepherd, who is the sheep he gave his life for? You know what I want? Yes, sir. So the good shepherd say give his life for the sheep. That's written in red, isn't it?
That's right. Yes, sir.
The good shepherd said he giveth his life for the sheep. Who's the sheep? Matthew 15, verse 24, brother.
The book of Matthew, St. Matthew, chapter 15, verse 24.
Go
but
ahead.
he answered and said, I am not sent, but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
He sent to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Go back to St. John, chapter 10, verse 11 again, brother.
The book of St. John, chapter 10, verse 11. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep.
So he gave his life for Israel, by the way. So some of you so-called Christians want to say, you know what? He gave it for everybody. No, Christ said he gave his life for the sheep. Go ahead, read on.
Verse 12, but he that is an hireling and not the shepherd.
The hireling is the one that teaches for hire. Don't care about the people. You don't want to be that. You want to be about to serve the people, serve the Most High. That's what you really want to be about. Read on.
Whose own the sheep are not. Seeth the wolf coming, and leaveth the sheep.
They see the wolf, they see the falsehoods coming, they see the falsehoods coming, and leave the sheep. Well, you know what? I don't care about that. Yeah, you better care about it because that's your people. Read on.
And fleeth, and the wolf catcheth them, and scattereth the sheep.
That's what happened. The wolf is scattering the sheep right now. Pushing falsehoods, pushing doctrines that's contrary to Christ. Go read on.
Verse 13, the hireling fleeth because he is an hireling.
He's a hireling. That's his job. He's going to teach for hire. He don't care about the sheep. He just care about fattening up his pockets. That's all he care about. Read on.
And careth not for the sheep. I am the good shepherd.
He's a good shepherd. Read on.
And I know my sheep, and am known of mine.
Yes, because how do we know? Because we hear his voice.
That's right.
We hear the scriptures. We read the scriptures. We say, okay, we're going to apply the scriptures. So we hear his voice. We don't read.
Verse 15. As the Father knoweth me, even so know I the Father, and I laid down my life for the sheep.
He just told you. He laid his life down for Israel, people, not for everybody. He just told you. Go read on.
Verse 16. And other sheep I have which are not of this fold. Them also I must bring, and they shall hear my voice, and there shall be one fold and one shepherd.
Let's find out who that is. Ezekiel 37, verse 21. Let's find out what that's talking about, everybody. We're almost done. This is the last couple of scriptures. We're almost done.
Ezekiel chapter 37 and verse 21.
Yes.
And it reads,
Mm-hmm.
and say unto them, thus said the Lord God, behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, whither they be gone, and will gather them on every side and bring them into their own land.
Oh, that hadn't happened yet.
All praises.
So right now, you see those imposters over there. That's not the real people. Because the Most High God said He's gonna do that. Christ's gonna do that. Gonna bring us to our own land. Who brought them over there to their land? The League of Nations. Okay, the Most High didn't do that. They did it on their own. Glory, don't read.
Verse 22. And I will make them one nation.
You gonna do what?
I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountain of Israel, and one king shall be the king of them all. And they shall be no more two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms anymore at all.
Go ahead.
Neither, verse 23, neither shall they defile themselves any more with their idols, nor with their detestable things, nor with any of their transgressions, but I will save them out of all their dwelling places, wherein they have sinned, and will cleanse them. So shall they be my people, and I will be their God.
Now here's the deal. That hadn't happened yet. That's a prophecy. Because as y'all do know, the so-called white man calls himself the Jew or Israeli. He's not the people. Because if that's the case, then you would have war over there. See, keep in mind, y'all, if the so-called Jews were the people, why they constantly keep being at war? It's supposed to be complete order over there, shouldn't it be?
That's right.
Because here's the deal. Read on, next verse.
Verse 24. And David my servant.
Wait a minute, who?
And David my servant.
How's that David? How is it David my servant? How's David my servant? Christ. How do we prove that? Give me Revelation 22, verse 16.
Revelation.
It said David, right? Because David is dead. But it's showing who it's really talking about. I want the Revelation 22, verse 16.
Yes, sir. The book of Revelation, chapter 22, verse 16. I, Jesus, have sent mine angel to testify unto you these things in the churches. I am the root and the offspring of David and the bright and morning star.
Hey, man, so for some of y'all that want to say Christ came, immaculate deception, or virgin birth, Christ has told you he's the root and offspring of David. So he's telling you that he's telling you who his lineage is. Who you going to believe, him or Catholicism or the nonsense they pushing out here? Go back to Ezekiel 37, where you were at?
24.
24, yes, sir.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 37, verse 24. And David, my servant, shall be king over them, and they all shall have one shepherd. They shall also walk in my judgments and observe my statutes and do them.
Go ahead, brother.
Verse 25. And they shall dwell in the land that I have given unto Jacob my servant, wherein your fathers have dwelt, and they shall dwell therein, even they and their children and their children's children forever.
For how long?
Forever.
That's how you know that's how y'all know it's a future prophecy. Because that's not happening right now. Because here's the deal. Think about it for a second. If they were the real people, it would be complete order. It wouldn't be no wars. They wouldn't have to have the Iron Dome. Okay? They wouldn't have to have nukes. How they got nukes? How y'all know? Listen, the scripture said the true Israelites won't have no power and no might in their hand. They have a military over there. That also gives you a clue they're not the real people. Go read on, read, brother, read.
Forever. And my servant David shall be their prince forever.
Their prince forever. David is dead, y'all. Just talking about Christ. We just told you Christ is the offspring of who? Of David. Go ahead, read on. Read.
Verse 26. Moreover, I will make a covenant of peace.
The covenant of what?
A covenant of peace.
Is this peace over there? No peace. Is it peace over? Is it peace in the east over there?
No peace in the east.
Ain't no peace in the east over there. So he said he gonna do what? He gonna make a covenant of what?
Moreover, I will make a covenant of peace.
I will make a covenant. That's future. I will make a covenant of peace. We don't read
with them, and it shall be an everlasting covenant with them.
Uh-huh.
And I will place them.
He gonna do what?
And I will place them
and
multiply them.
Go ahead.
And will set my sanctuary in the midst of them forevermore.
Forevermore. That's not going on right now. Because right now, if the land is defiled, they eat white steak over there called pork. They're having gay pride parades over in Jerusalem.
No statutes.
Oh, come on now.
Abominations.
It's abominations. Go ahead, read.
Verse 27, my tabernacle also shall be with them.
It's not with them because that's telling the Most High God gonna live with us. How do I know that? Give me the book of Revelation, 21 verse, give me verse 3.
3, yep.
Yes.
The book of Revelation, chapter 21, verse 3. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, behold, the tabernacle of God is with men.
The tabernacle of God is with men. Go ahead, read on.
And he will dwell with them.
He gonna dwell with us, everybody. That ain't happening right now. Go ahead, read on.
And they shall be his people. And God himself shall be with them and be their God.
We go back to Ezekiel where you were at. We showing the precept to prove, y'all, it's a future prophecy.
Sorry, verse 26.
Yes, sir. Go ahead. Yes, sir.
26. Moreover, I will make a covenant of peace with them, and shall be an everlasting covenant with them. And I will place them and multiply them, and will set my sanctuary in the midst of them forevermore. Ezekiel chapter 37, verse 27. My tabernacle shall be with them.
It's that shall, it means future tense. It shall be with them. Read on, read.
I will be their God, and they shall be my people.
And they shall be my people. It hadn't happened yet. Because once we wake up and know who we are, we shall be his people again. Because we're going to turn right back to the original sons of God, thank the Most High.
Right, all praise.
Go read on, read, brother. Read
Verse
on.
28. And the heathen shall know that I, the Lord, do sanctify Israel when my sanctuary shall be in the midst of them forevermore.
Forevermore. That's what's going to happen when the so-called blacks, the so-called Hispanics, and Native Americans whose fathers are Indian, whose fathers are Negro Indian descent will come together under one banner, which is Christ. Thank the Most High in Christ, 1 Peter, chapter 2, verse 21.
Sir, the book of 1 Peter, chapter 2, and verse 21. For even hereunto were you called.
You were called. Gather yourselves together, O nation not desired. We were called, right? Read on, read.
Because Christ also suffered for us.
Go ahead. He gave his life for the sheep. He just told you. Read on.
Leaving us an example.
Because Christ is our example. Read on.
That ye shall follow his steps.
Go ahead.
Who did no sin.
He didn't even have a foolish thought. Read on.
Neither was guile found in his mouth.
Because he was a deceiver. Go ahead, read on.
Who, when he was reviled not again.
Because when he spoke evil of Christ, he said, thou sayest. Kept it moving. Read on.
When he suffered, he threatened not.
Go ahead.
But committed himself to him that judgeth righteously.
He committed himself to the righteous judge, the Most High himself, the Father of spirits. That's who he committed himself to, as we should. The book of Acts, chapter 5, verse 29.
The book of Acts, chapter 5, and verse 29.
Go ahead.
Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey God rather than men.
We ought to obey God rather than men. Listen, y'all, it's been a pleasure. Sorry for the late start, okay, but we do know Satan is busy. We want to give the Most High Christ all the praise and glory for allowing us to spread the word. So y'all, we hope y'all been edified. Listen, the flesh y'all been doing what we're doing, okay? Without the Most High Christ, okay? Also, I want to give a shout out to the other elders, the bishops, the deacons, the priests, the women out there doing great works. Y'all keep doing great works. Everybody, why? Because guess what, y'all? The labors of you are all great. Come join the force. Come help us build. We're about building our people up. That's the most important thing. Also, we send you arms. We definitely need arms to help us build a nation. Why? Because we need to help the people. Okay? Help us build this great nation, which we do know. But keep in mind, y'all, stay strong in Israel. Why? Because a lot of things happening in the news. I just told y'all Iran and Israel, which they play a very important role in prophecy. These things are happening. So tuck in, get ourselves right with the Most High through Christ, because as we do know, he come back, y'all, he's not playing games, okay? Once again, y'all, Brother Raphael to my right.
I'm Brother Yoel.
And please enjoy your rest of your Sabbath. Okay, I'm going to say shalom.
Chapter 11, verse 1. I say then, hath God cast away his people?
Has God cast away his people? You so-called blacks and Hispanics, the Israelites, have God cast away his people? Read.
God forbid.
Meaning no. God has not cast away the Israelites. Read.
For I also am an Israelite. Israelite.
Paul said, I also am an Israelite. That's the New Testament.